Okay boys, in this video we're going to quickly do unit 4.3 in which we need to working between decimals and fractions. So this first video we're going to be learning how we can turn decimals into fractions, and we've looked at this sort of already when we did our place value in that first way in which we can show expressing fractions. But there's two things that you need to make sure you remember from previous lessons. So you do need to know the difference between mixed and improper fractions. So if you're unsure of those two, make sure you look them up now before we continue. And also you need to make sure that you are familiar with how we did our extended fractional form. Okay, we did that in our first video, in which we knew different ways of how we express our expanded fractional form, so placing it in the place value column and going from there. So make sure you know how to do that, but in the meantime we're going to quickly move on and show you how we're going to transfer decimals into fractions. So here's the first question. We want to transfer or change this number right here into a fraction. Now, as we looked at previously, we know that each of these, this is basically a part of a fraction, because we know that this number here is the whole number and this number here is part of a whole. So it's already sort of as a fraction, we just need to convert it to that. So the way that we do that is we need to make sure that we know the place value of each of these. So the way that you do that is that you can look for the last number in the decimal place column, and whatever that column falls under in regards to the fraction in the extended fractional form, or which place value, is what becomes the fraction. So here we have 7 and we have 2 in the hundredths column. So our fraction is going to be hundredths, and all you do is you write the top number, whatever is behind the decimal point, above that fraction. Okay, so effectively we have our fraction, this decimal here written as a fraction, as 3 and 72 hundredths. Now, as I've said previously, this is a mixed fraction, so you could also write this as an improper fraction, which would be 372 over 100. So that's how we write that as a fraction, but you also need to make sure that, as we always do, we need to simplify our fractions. So here we go through this one. I know, I'll show you how we do that quickly here. I know that this ends in a 2 and a 0, so it's going to be an even number. So I can divide that one simply and break by 2 and break that down continuously. So this could become, it'll be over 50. I'm going to pause it here, make sure I come back and I'll work out what the top part is for you. Okay, so I worked that out, and I've 372 divided by 2 equals 186 over 50. Again, I know that I can divide these again by 2 to break it down even further, as they both end in an even number. So this will now become over 25, and our answer should be 93 over 25. So that's how we turn it into a decimal into a fraction. Make sure you remember that step, and then you also always need to simplify. A lot of stuff going on here, so make sure you pause it, rewind it, watch it again to make sure you fully understand this concept. Thanks boys.